Well, these athletes have been training all summer and fall long, and now it is go time. This is the second major event, and really, the Dew Tour is in a class all by itself. Last week was the warm-up, the appetizer down the road at Copper Mountain, and now they get ready for the big show. It is the 11th year of the Dew Tour. There is the start list. Remember, it's 3 runs, but only your best run counts, so there's a lot of strategy. Do you come out and lay down something simple early and clean and put a good score on the board, or do you get the pipes, the legs, the poles, everything warmed up, and then let it all hang out for run number 3? There you see the edifice that is the modified Superpipe here in Breckenridge, and we are set to go. A youth will lead the way. 16-year-old Faye Irving out of Winter Park, Colorado gets the nod. And if you're just joining us, Kelly Silderoom injured yesterday, unable to go today, so young Miss Irving will get the shot to shine here. The first run of the day here in Breckenridge, Colorado, Luke. You got to be a VIP to be dropping in first in Breckenridge and get the fresh stuff, and she's getting that honor here.
And to come out from an athlete perspective as an alternate and dive straight into the finals is pretty much unheard of. Oftentimes you'll have to work your way through like a qualifying round or something of that nature, but Svea just dropping right into the finals. She's just got to get it in gear, and maybe has experienced a little more relaxation in the run-up to this event, so that can contribute positively in some cases. Switch down the pipe 720, a little bit hung out, and not quite any indication of a grab on that particular trick. Remember, judges are looking for amplitude, progression, the things that really get you to the podium are execution, landings, of course, and coming out on that tombstone to cat's paw. She swung hard on the spin and landed a little bit sideways. Lost both shoes on that particular day.
She has a modified yard sail in her first run. Remember, she gets 2 more runs and only the best score counts. So for the 16-year-old Luke, she will go back up, figure out what went wrong here. But you see the lines. There are so many. This is a blank canvas, so to speak, for these athletes to do really whatever they want. They've taken the Superpipe and modified it, and now it is just a thing of beauty.
It really is, and a little bit of struggles up in that particular run on the front end, just spinning like a top in the switch 720, getting that around. And right here, of course, the first look at Mr. T. That's an alley-oop 360, so she turns her body uphill first when performing that spin. Drops down into the pipe. Now, this is just a classic Superpipe right here. The athletes have about 3 hits to incorporate those big tricks, which they've been training for in your traditional Superpipe action. So she comes in down to the bottom, and now things change. You got to fly out of that half pipe and into a regular park feature style landing. So she needed to transition, her body right there, but she does not get to that straight up and down position to be able to come into the plane of that well-manicured landing.
So she comes up a little short there. The bindings do exactly what they're intended to do. Too much torque on there, and they release. She slides away. So Svea Irving, the 16-year-old out of Winter Park, will get 2 more cracks at this modified Superpipe, looking for a top score. As we head back to the top of this thing of beauty, Rachel Carker set to drop in. She's 21 years of age, out of Erin, Ontario. You wonder where Erin is? Well, it's about 57 miles northwest of Toronto. She's had no Olympic experience, so to speak. So Copper last week, Luke, was her first FIS competition of the season. And here she is now in the big show at the Dew Tour.
And making her way into that professional level event in Copper Mountain, the first time that I've personally seen her in the final of a major event. Big, beautiful alley-oop 3 mute, solid grab, looked very good, super poppy. Remember, amplitude, speed equals amplitude, and there's some right there. Nice big inverted flare mute. She's getting the grabs too, reaching down with the right hand right there for the safety grab on another flare into the corked 900, 2.5 spin, so really solid tricks throughout her run so far. Just a straight air up over the cat's paw right there, not probably going to contribute positively too much to her score. And then, she hits the quarter pipe up onto the hip landing, and she didn't get enough pop right there. And when we say pop, of course, we're indicating the fact that she's got to push out off of the wall. To get back into the landing, and she hits the top, the coping, and that is a very icy, very firm environment for her to be landing upon. So
let's remind everyone at home, though, Luke, that it is 3 runs, only the best score counts. As we take a look at this first offering from Canadian Rachel Carker.
Oh, just a beautiful 360 mute grab right there. It's kind of a 270 if you're a stickler for physics, but we'll call it a 3. Nice mute, made famous by Johnny Mosley. And right here, big, beautiful backflip 180 mute grab. Excellent execution overall, and then into the right side version of that trick. Right flare with the safety grab, and then big corked 7 right here. Looked so good in the air, but just not quite the pop that she needed. You can see she drifted onto the top of the coping. That's a painful place to land.
So the young Canadian will take a 26.67 with her back to the top with 2 more cracks at this modified Superpipe. Mammoth Lakes brings us Abigail Hansen, just 20 years of age, set to drop in on run number 1. Luke, I got to ask you a strategy question. If you're coaching one of these athletes here and the conditions are like they are right now, are you telling them go out there and just let it rip, or are you saying let's ease into this bad boy and maybe go for it on run 2 and 3?
Well, that's a really good question, because I think at this point, Abigail Hansen can kind of see, okay, 2 athletes have already fallen. Maybe I should alter my strategy if I was thinking of totally going for it and just put a run down, because we're seeing some falling. Yeah, get a full pull and then build upon that. I always think that's a good strategy, but in some situations you really have to go for broke when competition's very much heating up.
And we've heard this before, the judges take a little time to warm up too, so maybe this is a situation where Abigail Hansen, the judges, they're jonesing to put some good ink down, and they have been mired so far with a 23 and a 26 from Irving and Carker, so this becomes the 3rd athlete to come down, looking, as we said, for that full pull top to bottom.
That's right. 720 up top, back-to-back 5s, and then the switch 3 down below. She's got to get something right here. Just a 180 popping up and over, and Abigail Hansen from Mammoth Lakes. Now, if you've ever skied Mammoth, you know that in order to get to the pipe, you actually have to ski through the park. So she should have some of those skills that can help on the slopestyle side. Full pull right there. Maybe she just wanted to get one to her feet. Locked everything down in that half pipe, that 300-foot section of vert. And alley-oop 360 safety grab. You can see her hand right underneath, grabbing the bottom of the ski on her right side. And very, very well done. She can add a little bit more there. She loves the switch hits in the half pipe, so maybe a 540 up top in order to set herself up for those switch bits of activity in the 300 feet of vert.
And there's a look up the belly of the beast. You see Mr. T at the very top, Luke. I mean, obviously it's a modified Superpipe, but having that Mr. T feature early on kind of sets the tone. So if you're an athlete, what do you do there? How do you express yourself, and what is the thought process of, wow, what am I going to do on this very first hit before I even enter the pipe?
You know, I think that that's a huge point, because any athlete will tell you the first trick that you do, say the first feature in your slopestyle course is a rail. If you nail that rail, it's going to set the tone for you mentally and physically coming into the rest of your run. So it's a super important opportunity, but it's also kind of like, you know, if you're going to roll the dice and do a really big trick, there's a chance you could fall and spoil the whole thing. So you really got to work that balance in there.
58.67 was the score for Abigail Hansen as we take a look at Annalisa Drew. Name should be very familiar to you if you've been following the sport at all. She has been around it for a long time, the 25-year-old out of Andover, Mass. 2-time Olympian, placed 9th in 2014, just missed the podium in Pyeongchang, finishing in 4th. She comes from a large family in Andover, just north of Boston.
Oh, beautiful. Alley-oop flat spin 540 right there. That's definitely the biggest trick that we've seen so far on the Mr. T feature. Nice. Spinning like a top, as she is wont to do. Consistency with those big spins, and needing a little bit more pop coming up out. You can hear how firm that snow is now coming into the tombstone. Corked 720, locks it down. Great trick so far for Annalisa Drew. Down into this bottom section, just a big straight air to finish things out, but a lot of hefty activity and difficult tricks packed into that run.
Well, for 13 years, Annalisa Drew was a competitive figure skater. She said, I just really like jumping and spinning around. Well, she showed that here. She certainly has the air awareness, Luke. When she gets in the air, she did get hung up on some coping a few times on the rails, but she was able to veteran ski out of it and survive.
She turns her body up toward the top of the hill to start that trick off, reaches down for the safety grab, touched it just for a minute, we'll give it to her. Down into this run here, the right side 900, 2.5 spins, a little bit backseat, but then tees up another 900, and watch this, boom, right foot lands on top of the coping, but she holds onto it. This was a beautiful vaulted exit out of the pipe onto the cat's paw. Nicely executed, left side 720. No grab in there, and her 9s were missing grabs, but she put some big tricks to her feet.
Annalisa Drew, a 45, which really surprises me. I thought that was the best run we'd seen so far, but maybe the judges know what Annalisa Drew is capable of, and they expect much more from her. So she will take that 45. That will more than likely be her throwaway score as we take a look now at Britta Sigourney. And wow, what a resume for this young lady. Britta Sigourney's been around the game for a while, and she is just 28 years of age from Carmel, California, originally 2018 Olympic bronze medalist in Pyeongchang, finishing 6th in Sochi. Yeah, Britta. Attended the University of California, Davis on a water polo scholarship, but she quit after a few months to focus on the ski. So she went from the liquid variety to the frozen variety, and I'm thinking she made the wise choice.
Absolutely. She's won this event twice in the past. It's been a little bit since we've seen her on the top of the podium at Dew Tour, but perhaps now is the time. Huge laid out backflip. A little bit backseat on that landing, but holds on to it down and into the pipe, her bread and butter. Big straight air to kick things off. And there's a left side 900. Good trick. We'll see a lot of those throughout the day. Common to see the 900 teed up and knocked down. And she is probably, and you know, a little bit unhappy maybe with the landing on that backflip up top is kind of the suspicion that I have in mind, because she did a straight air on the first hit. Annalisa Drew did a straight air down at the bottom and received a low score. So judges are probably wanting to see tricks on every feature in this course.
So Britta Sigourney will use that as a warm-up training run. Her score will probably not crack that of Abigail Hansen's 58.67, which is relatively pedestrian. Luke, I got to bring this point up because these athletes are so impressive. Look at this, the start. But it's not just about the aerials, spinning left and right. And we've had this conversation many a time. It's like if you're right-handed, riding with your left hand. Your natural way of spinning and your unnatural.
Totally. You have to basically completely relearn all the tricks that you know in one direction in the other way. And it's very challenging. It's frustrating because your mind knows it maybe to the left, but learning it to the right is this whole different experience. And so the athletes that can make them look very well have done that through arduous training and trampoline time, and then trying it on snow, and being able to spin in both directions is not an easy thing. And we can see Britta Sigourney here opting just to spin to the left on her 2 tricks in the pipe.
So her score, a 31.33. Again, 3 runs, only best score counts. And then there were 3, the final 3 to take their first run of 3. This is Devin Logan, 25 years of age, originally from Oceanside, New York. Not necessarily a big free ski mecca, but she has made the trek out west, now residing in the lovely confines of Park City, Utah. The 2012 Dew Tour champion, 2014 Olympic silver medalist in slopestyle. So she is very talented, can compete in both pipe and slope. And D-Lo usually has a tune in her head when she's skiing.
Alley-oop 360 right there. And Devin Logan, as I mentioned earlier in the show, she's a slopestyle and superpipe athlete. So something like this, a more creative, modified superpipe, definitely could play to her interests and abilities. Nice big flare into the 540 Japan. Well done. She's going to get 4 hits. So right side 540, we just talked about that. Very important to be spinning both directions. And a little straight air right there, not quite having the speed to capitalize on the opportunity in the cat's paw. And then an alley-oop down below. Pops a little 180 to finish things off. And Devin Logan, not quite the intensity or that aggression that we've seen from her in her runs, but the tricks she did perform were very smooth.
Well, let's be honest, the 58.67, if she gets a 58.68, Luke, she goes into the lead.
And that's definitely something that's within the realm of opportunity based on this run. So locks in the Japan grab right there. That left side 540, very smooth into the right side 5. So she's got that left and right combination. Super solid grab on that first left side 5. Didn't quite have the speed right there. Just kicked out a little shifty, and then down at the bottom, just kept it very mellow. Safety grab on that alley-oop. She pops it around to 3 right there. Maybe wanted a 3 at some point, but we'll see what she does in the next run.
So Devin Logan waiting for a score there. You see the current standings thus far, as we mentioned. Relatively pedestrian for the talent that we have here in the final. A 58.67 leads the way. That's Abigail Hansen, the youngster out of Mammoth Lakes, California, just 20 years of age. And we're looking for a full pole with intensity, Luke. It's really going to be passing the eye test. You're going to know the leading run when you see it.
Yeah.
Devin Logan may slide into there, but it's probably not going to be the best run of her day. It's a 55.33. So she comes up short. D-Lo will go into second place for the time being.
who had the switch 540, the back-to-back switch 5. So Abigail...
Final two competitors, and they are very good. Maddie Bowman will drop first, and then it'll be Cassie Sharp. And how about this? Olympic gold medalist in 14, Dew Tour champion in 12, Dew Tour champion in 13, Dew Tour champion in 14. She pulled off the three-peat, the Pat Riley-style three-peat at the Dew Tour, owning it. Has slowed down just a little bit, but let's not forget, Maddie Bowman's just 24 years of age out of South Lake Tahoe, and she is ready to bring it back on. She is a slow burner. She will start off, and then she will build to a roaring fire.
Yeah, she's not someone to count out, even though it winds down to the third run. Maybe there's shadows on the jumps. She will hop into that situation and bring the heat. Classic little 360, pops the alley-oop 270, if you would. Down into the bottom, look for back-to-back 900s out of Maddie Bowman. Will she bring it right here? Oh, she's gonna go 540 tail grab, good. Remember, locking in those grabs, so important, and not all of the ladies out here in this competition are throwing in the grabs, so that's one way to get more points on the board. And she's just going to do it with
one hand.
She hand pulls in one hand.
Oh, back-to-back hand plants.
Unbelievable. I haven't seen pulls in one hand since Johnny Mosley Big Air X Games 99.
There you go. Oh, you're going deep.
Real deep.
So Maddie Bowman, I'm going to suspect that will be a train run for her. She is Miss Progression. And you got to think back to Pyeongchang. Bowman crashed out of the finals, falling in all three runs while attempting that back-to-back 900 loop that you talked about.
That's right. And boom, there's the nice little left side 540 lead tail. Reaches back with that left hand, looking for it. Missed the grab there. Looked like she had initially knocked it down, but this time around did not quite get it. High safety, that is a lockdown. Grabbed that ski for sure. And then in this tombstone to cat's paw, another straighter. I gotta tell you, Todd, that is such a huge place within this feature, this overall course, to garner a lot of points, and not being utilized right there, particularly by Maddie Bowman. She's going for the back-to-back alley-oop hand plants, but this time, unfortunately, not quite getting the second.
She gives us the parade wave, so Maddie Bowman will take that 50.67, put it in her back pocket, and hope she never sees it again. As we take a look at the beautiful modified Superpipe presented by Toyota, what a thing of beauty. Luke, we had some stats on the Superpipe at Copper Mountain last week, and it was amazing the amount of water, time, money that it takes to build one of these beauties. I can only imagine what the price tag goes up on a modified Superpipe as you look at the 2018 Olympic gold medalist. This is Cassie Sharp. 26-year-old, absolutely slayed it in Copper last week. Didn't get the top spot, but you could tell she was warming things up for the big show here at the Dew Tour. The Olympic gold medalist from Pyeongchang now inside the pipe and running.
Great big laid out backflip, beautifully done, and this Olympic gold medalist is coming in hot. She wants to get back on top of that podium. Nice looking left side 900, super inverted. Right side 720, teeing up a switch hit here. Whoa! Gets a little bit hung up right there, trying to get that switch corked. Looked like maybe a 720, but
Luke, my untrained eyes, it looks like she did not have the speed as she was going up the walls, and she began her rotation and helicoptered right into the wall.
Definitely. So an unusual situation right there for Cassie Sharp. Typically, she's going to lay down those runs without question on the reg, but this time around, taking a fall on a switch maneuver, just got a little bit hung up. Remember, the edges of these skis are razor sharp so that they can grip the very, very hard-packed snow that is necessary in order to
start
have a Superpipe. Yeah, just giant backy.
That is so tasty.
Look how dumped out. I mean, just a full course of backflip enjoyment right there. That was delightful. And here's this 9. Reaches back, does not lock in the tail grab right there. Typically, she'll grab that ski very well. Down into this right side 720, so spinning both directions. Beautiful stuff. And watch this. The tip of her right ski is what we're going to want to check out right there, because that hung up and kept her on the snow for longer than she had anticipated. Watch the edge of that right ski. Oh, yeah. Just hangs up and totally holds her and keeps her out of the axis of desirability there.
What could have been so much worse as Cassie Sharp, the Olympic gold medalist from Comox, British Columbia, slides down. Double good news for her. The best news is she's okay. She's able to ski away, heading back to the top of the modified Superpipe. The other good news is she has 2 more runs to put it all down. So after 1 run in the women's competition, it is Abigail Hansen leading the way with a 58.67. Devin Logan in second, and Maddie Bowman sitting in third. So only 3 women dipping into the 50s, something I never thought I would say in this final, but that's the way it goes. The good news is, as we said, 3 runs. Luke, I get the feeling like the sun and the weather here, they're just warming up.
They ought to be, yeah. I mean, I don't remember the last time that I've seen a full field of 8 athletes and them not break into the 60s on run number 1. So, very consistent thing. But look at it. I mean, the sun is just coming up. The trees are throwing a huge shadow over the entirety of the half pipe. Once things maybe open up a little bit more and that giant ball of light gets a little bit higher in the sky, I think that we might be able to see the course and the general approach feel a little bit better.
And I'm just hearing that Cassie Sharp told Artina Dixon that she didn't tighten her boots enough on that first run. So the good news for her, she'll get those locked in, and she has 2 more runs to go for the Olympic gold medalist from Pyeongchang. Out of Canada, Cassie Sharp. Best news, though, is the way she slid out of that uninjured. So we wish her the best of luck on the next 2. All right, Luke, as we look to the start list again and we look to the next 2 runs, just a beautiful day here in the Rocky Mountains. What do you anticipate happening? It seems like everyone got their warm-up or their training run out of the way.
Yeah, it really felt that way. I mean, Britta Sigourney, she sort of bailed out on her run after the backflip went bad. Devin Logan can definitely add some heat to the fire. Maddie Bowman,
probably not going to do the hand plants again.
Yeah, probably not going to do the hand plants again, I would imagine. And then Cassie Sharp, just a simple mistake, and she went down, but man, I definitely think that she's going to absolutely crush, no question about it. And
this is not the demo reel that the ladies would like us to show, but this is pretty much the telltale of the early offerings.
Yeah, here's a look at what went down on round 1 here.
This is just an advertisement for a bottle of Advil. I mean, look at this.
It really is.
And just to show what warriors they are, every single one of them got up and skied away.
They really did.
Regardless of the level of the yard sale.
Right, that situation where you hit the top of the coping and then roll down that hard pack is rough, to say the least.
So they are back for their second go at this beautiful modified Superpipe, which is presented by Toyota. It'll be Svea Irving out of Winter Park, Colorado, the 16-year-old. The first crack at it. She'd love to throw away that 23.33. Knows what to expect now, Luke. I think the goal for her probably is a full pole with a little more amplitude and then really go at it on run 3.
Definitely. And I think she could benefit from lining up that 720 that she had on the tombstone out to the cat's paw landing. I really feel like she's one of the only people that's really utilizing the opportunity to garner some points in that zone. Nice left 360, locks in the Japan grab. There's the down the pipe 3, teeing up the switch 720.
Oh, and again for the second run, both skis come ejected.
Looks like she came down tail heavy on the coping right there, and those toe pieces released. You can see that the heel piece of her binding is still engaged. The tip of it is still popped up, so her toe piece is released, and typically that'll happen if you're super heavy on your tails and just really splints and forces your skis downwards
but
while
it
your
does
weight's
take
on the
a
back.
major amount of torque, Luke, for this to happen. So let's look at it again. Where did things go wrong?
So she just didn't quite get the pop that she needed. She's going to land tail heavy, and boom, both skis. And you know, I don't know that was an equipment malfunction at all. That looks like she could potentially tighten the bindings a little bit more, but overall, very nice takeoff. Switch 540 comes around. Here's the 7 as she enters her tips back into the pipe. And watch this right ski.
Oh,
bam, just immediately pops off. No question whatsoever. She's got those bindings on fairly loose.
And Luke, for the folks at home that are new to skiing, it is designed to do that, to save her knees.
That's right, because if you can imagine the leverage that a ski has on your knee from the tip and tail, you want that torque to not even be a part of the equation. You want that to be off and done with the second that you crash.
So Miss Irving will have to look to the third and final run, hoping for a full pole. The 14.67 now becomes her throwaway score. Rachel Carker set to drop in. 21 years of age, out of Erin, Ontario. She qualified in this field of 8. Remember, Kelly Sildaroo was in the competition but hurt her knee, unable to go. So Svea Irving got the nod to pop into that 8th and final position. And here we go, second run for Rachel Carker out of Canada. Now that's a beautiful, just a nice, beautiful, clean opening.
I think if she lands this run, she's going to dip into first place without question. The back-to-back flares, super solid, well grabbed on the first one. The second, maybe slapping the safety. Nice looking 900, great re-entry. Now down into this tombstone. Needing to take advantage of that with a trick. Needs to pop right here if she wants to get this 720 back in, and nails it this time around. I think that's the best run that we've seen landed so far, Todd.
You can't tell, but there is a smile under that camouflage as Rachel Carker goes top to bottom and lands switch right in front of the judges in their front room. But I'm telling you, Luke, look at that. I feel like I'm back in 1998 at Johnny Mosley.
That was a beautiful 360 mute grab. Very well done there. Great call. And it looks like she tickled the grab, maybe didn't lock in the mute grab right there. So she has an opportunity to do the same run, but improve the score in run number 3 if she just locks in her grab. So 3 solid tricks throughout the pipe section of this run, but no grabs on any of those tricks. Down here, she could do something. She just got to do something right there. I mean, that's just a straight air. She needs to bring some heat, but this nice, very solid 720 right here. Reaches down, looking for the safety grab. Maybe a boot grab there. So cleaning up the grabs on everything except that top 360 where she absolutely buckled and locked that baby in will be beneficial for her in the next run.
And there is the Canadian smile because her score came in as an 83.67. So Rachel Carker, not only a full pole, but a great score for her, and that becomes the mark to beat. Remember, it's 3 runs, only the best score counts. So now you wonder if the momentum that Rachel Carker just contributed to, 83.67, is going to start filtering down to the rest of the athletes. Abigail Hansen would like to think that is true. She's sitting on a 58.67, and she would love to jump on top with an 83.68, which would give her the lead. There you see the difference between Rachel Carker's score and the rest of the field.
Well, it creates that margin of filler space in there, and the athlete's definitely wanting to hop into that zone. The podium is starting to come into shape. You got to be in the 80s, most likely, if you want to enter that zone.
Luke, while we're talking about style, and these athletes certainly have it today, I got to mention the bibs. The Dew Tour bibs this year, I think they used every crayon in the box for those, and they're a thing of beauty.
They truly are. Well played. Nice looking 720 right there. She had the lead coming out of first runs. Looking to improve here. Switch down the pipe, 540, getting 4 hits, similar to Devin Logan. There's the switch 3. Something right here would be beneficial. Just goes for the mute grab. Once again, that is a feature that is dying to be tricked upon. Down the pipe right there, if you will. 360, safety grab, puts the landing gear down. That one will post. I think she'll improve upon her 58.67. How much is the question. I definitely do not think that that's going to break through to the upper 80s.
The judges, obviously, Luke, when they see a straight air, they're saying missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity, and a situation where the athlete was kind of playing it safe. So they won't necessarily be docked, but they're not filling the margin with the opportunity to lock in some points. But that's a speed issue right there. She got 4 hits in the pipe, but even though she's not hitting the tombstone portion of the takeoff, she could still just dump a little 360 out and benefit. Just maybe a 180. Give us a backflip. Yeah, how about a truck driver? Let's do something complex.
65.33 is the score for Abigail Hansen. So as Luke said, it is an improvement off of 58, but nowhere near the 83.67 laid down by Rachel Carter.
Can she keep that party going and continuing?
Annalisa Drew, next athlete to drop in.
Out
of Andover, Mass.
Adversity to deal with.
As we mentioned, a large family in Andover, just outside of Boston. As a child, she went skiing each weekend with her cousins at Loon Mountain in New Hampshire. That's Todd Richards' neck of the wood.
Oh yeah, that's Scott Hibbert, throwback ski side of things. But that's definitely
you got to watch out. You won't get whacked by a wicked hot bitch.
Come on, Anna.
beautiful. Here comes Annalisa Drew, definitely the toughest trick that we're seeing up top. She does revert out of that, so the judges don't like to see reverts. She lands backwards. She needs to carry into the next feature backwards. Big right side 900 right there for Anna.
There's no mistaking. She was going for that one. Binding stay in, then she decides to, maybe it wasn't all the way in, Luke. She kicks that thing out. It's going to reset it.
Yeah, classic indication of a semi-pop. And so she just kicks it out and
I'm imagining when you fly out of a 22-foot half pipe and 900 rotation, you want to make sure you're fully locked.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Here's the alley-oop flat spin 540. If you want to call that a 450, you would not be wrong. And then she comes around. That's the revert I was talking about. She lands switch. She should probably think about going switch into the next hit, but a revert's not really a bad choice if you're going to go right into a right side 900. So partial kick off of that left ski, and if we get another look at it, watch her left foot really clacking the coping right there with the tail of the ski. So maybe a shift in the equipment right there. Throwaway run nonetheless. So hopefully Annalisa Drew will be able to lock everything together on her third and final.
So Annalisa Drew's 10 becomes her new throwaway score. She has to sit on that 45. Not something she wants to do as we take a look at Britta Sigourney, who will be the next to drop in. Young lady in Carmel, California.
So currently sitting in 6th place. She had a 31 point.
Do you know where her name comes from?
The tap water?
No, that would be the filter. No, it was inspired by a Swedish painter, and one of his children's name was Britta. Swedish painter. So there you go. As
Much
Rachel
cooler.
Carker leads the way, much cooler than a filter.
Yeah.
Rachel Carker leads the way with an 83.67. Remember the format: 3 runs, only the best score counts.
There's this backflip. Sends it a little softer this time. Well played. That's going to set the tone for the rest of her run. Sigourney coming into her first wall. Nice looking straighter, very clean. Here's the cork 900. Oh, such great execution in the air, but she does touch the hip to the snow. That will be counted against her as a fall.
So Luke, I'm thinking that right now you get yourself a clean run, maybe back off on the intensity or the difficulty, and you're going to get yourself somewhere in the 80s, and right now that's podium.
That's podium worthy. So, and Britta, I think, was teed up to make that happen. Great big backflip. She had the cork 900, and that right side 720 on the very bottom portion of this run is something that's going to score really well additionally. So kind of just sucks the knees in, lets it hang over. Beautiful, kind of mogul style backy right there. Beautiful execution. Right into a straight air there. Then right here, she's going to put the pedal to the floor. Big corked 9. She gets the landing gear back in, but man, just a little too upright and drops the hip to the snow. Alley-ooping, she rides everything out. Down into this tombstone. Once again, that's a huge opportunity and just at least a complicated grab of some kind. And the right side 720, that's going to score very well, especially when matched with the big 900 up in the half pipe. So Britta Sigourney not doing it this time around, but whispers of what's to come that could potentially set the judges on task.
And I'm sure she's whispering some words we can't put on broadcast TV because her score right now is a 49. And that is her best score so far. Not normally what we hear from Britta Sigourney. So we're down to the final 3 of the second runs. And of course, Devin Logan singing and dancing as she gets ready for her second offering. 2014 Olympic silver medalist in slopestyle. And Luke, you brought up a great point. She's one of the few athletes that does double duty in both half pipe and slopestyle. With this being the modified super pipe, she's kind of got a little bit of both worlds for her. So you would think this would favor her just sans rails.
Indeed. And with run number 1, she seemed a little bit laid back. She just needs to really get in there, harness some of that competitive intensity, lock in her grabs, and get the tricks that she needs to throw down. Nice looking flare right there. Does she have the grab on this 540? Reaching down for the Japan, locking it in. Good stuff on the left side 5, into the right side 5. Grabbed additionally. Oh yes, there's a 540 transferring up and out, now coming in backwards to this bottom section. And Logan doing it right. Beautiful switch, alley-oop 540 right there. That's the Devin Logan we know and love. The first run wasn't necessary. I think you were right. It was a practice run.
And the only thing I was saying, I'm no judge, obviously, but the penultimate trick she had there when she went 540, as you pointed out, she had to revert a little bit around. Probably didn't get the whole 540 in the grocery bag.
Yeah.
Maybe more like a 495. Okay. But nonetheless, full pull and a thing of beauty. And I think the cleanliness of it all will vault her into a podium position.
Definitely. And her grabs. I mean, reaching down right there for the safety grab on the outside of that ski. Nice big 360. And one thing that you're probably getting tired of me saying is these athletes need to be tricking on that cat's paw feature. The tombstone coming out of the half pipe. And Devin Logan was... She didn't back up from it at all. Maybe she didn't have the same amplitude as some of the other athletes, but she was definitely very, very close to their amplitude and in excess of maybe even half to 3/4 of the field. So she really put it all together in this run. Nice big left side 540. Japan reaches down with her right hand behind her right leg, grabs the left ski, and then she mirrors that trick. And this is what I'm talking about. Spinning the 540 out, landing switch, coming in switch, not reverting at all into this switch alley-oop 5. Reaches down, sans grab, but does put that to her feet. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if we had a new leader.
Well, it's definitely going to be an improvement on her 55.33, which is her first score, and the judges see it as a 71.
Oh, interesting.
So the judges not feeling quite the same love for D-Lo as Luke Van Valen is. A 71, though, does put her currently into second place.
I loved it.
Boy, what a day to come out and watch the Dew Tour. As we mentioned, it's 11th year of existence here at Breckenridge, Colorado. Match made in heaven on a picture-perfect day. As we take a look at the current standings, Rachel Carker continues to lead her second run in 83.67, and that has been it so far. The temperatures are warming up, the scores not so much, but I have a feeling the third and final runs may just do the trick. As we go back to the action with 2 more athletes to go here in run 2 of 3, this is, of course, the women's ski modified Superpipe final presented by Toyota. There is Maddie Bowman, ready to go. We'll see if she drops the hand plants that she put in there on the first run. Have a little fun with a 50.67. So the 2014 Olympic gold medalist, 2-time Olympian, finishing 11th in Pyeongchang. Remember, she had her issues in the final in Pyeongchang. Luke in the final. We were there, we called it, but it was all about her pushing progression because she was trying to land the back-to-back 900s and just couldn't do it, and she kept going for it. And I remember you saying, if she just backs off on this, she'll probably be in the top 5 or 3. And she was like, nope, I'm going for it all, and she didn't get it. But much respect.
And kind of a zoot sort of rocket grab coming off of that 360 up top. That's older parlance, of course, for a straight-legged reach down safety style grab. And coming down into this section, little bit of heat still to be desired perhaps from Maddie Bowman. Whoa, nice air in and opting, to hit it like a hip there.
And strikes a pose.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, an interesting run right there. Once again, some of those straight airs that she's incorporating, maybe the judges are liking it. Rachel Carker with a straight air out on the cat's paw where Devin Logan threw a 540, and I might stand corrected. Perhaps they just want to see a smooth overall undertaking and reaching down, not quite locking in the rocket style grab, rocket safety, straight-legged.
Is that a one-handed truck driver?
It's kind of like a one-handed truck driver. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it, it's just a high safety of sorts. But, you know, back in the day, way in the beginning, Freeze magazine put out an ad and they said, here's what all the grabs are called. And one of them was a rocket. And that's most similar to what she, whether or not we
so
still
you're
call it a
harkening back
rocket.
to the old template.
I'm taking it, I'm going way back,
okay,
buddy, way back.
Throwback Thursday was yesterday, but Luke's bringing it on Friday. And there was the Zoolander pose as she slides down to the bottom of the modified Superpipe, smile on her face. 23.3 is not going to do her any good, so she'll hold on to the 50.67 and 67, I should say, and she will look to the third and final run. Speaking of final runs, this will be the final run of the second round in the women's competition. And this is Cassie Sharp. Why is she important? Well, she's a 2018 Olympic gold medalist from Pyeongchang in the halfpipe. Came up second last week at Copper Mountain, just down the road at the first Grand Prix of the season. Just warming things up for the Canadian, and here she is. Look, I think she had all the makings. She had the ingredients of one fine baked good. And now if she can just leave that souffle in long enough and not let it fall, she's going to probably be top 3.
Nice big backflip, just slung out, super laid out throughout. Here's the 900 tail. Gets it, and then the right side 720, teeing up the switch. 7 should have it this time around. Gets it, rides it out. Not total completion on the rotation, but definitely landed the trick. Judges will give it to her. Reaches high safety right there, now down into the bottom. down the pipe, if you will, or onto the hip landing, right side 360. Good looking landing, and the most important item to discuss is full pull.
Full pull. Now, the good news is it's going to be a monster improvement over 23.67, I should say. I don't know if it's going to be good enough to overtake Rachel Carker's 83.67, but you be the judge.
Beautiful, huge laid out backflip right there. Brings the landing gear forward. Slight over rotation, but she holds onto it. Look for the grab right on the tip of the tail. Gorgeous grab on that left side 900. Here's the right side 7. Locks down the landing right there, and not a ton of speed, but she still gets the switch cork 7 around. And then she's just going to slide up and move down into that lower section.
Look how low she is. Look at her head.
Yeah, dude, 6 inches maybe from the coping right there. And oh, did she drag the hip? We'll know when the score comes out from the judges there whether or not she did.
So Cassie Sharp will improve to the tune of a 69 even, and she will slide herself into second place. So after 2 runs, it looks like this. It is still Rachel Carker leading the way, as the Canadians are looking very strong early on as Cassie Sharp slides into third. Devin Logan holds on to second with a 71. But look, not to be critical, but I know what these ladies can do, and an 83, a 71, and a 69 does not seem like the scores we normally see for the top 3 on the podium.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, typically we're seeing the upper 80s for a lot
Even
of these
a low
athletes.
90.
Yeah, definitely. Cassie Sharp, Maddie Bowman. I mean, these are 2 athletes who have won virtually every Superpipe competition, hand over hand, over the years. Britta Sigourney as well. So these are really low scores, and I think, you know, the progression that's necessary in this modified Superpipe is something that's still got some of these ladies wondering, all right, how do I get that score I'm looking for?
We know it's not the conditions, because as Tina reported, the conditions are picture perfect. The weather is warm. The sun is out. Do you think it's the modified aspect of the Superpipe that has them maybe out of their normal flow, their normal rhythm?
I think so. And I mean, Rachel Carker, one thing she's doing, she just boosted on that first hit. She's also doing the pipe tricks the judges love to see. Beautiful 900 right there. She's got great amplitude. And then this left side 720 down below. She crashed on run number 1, but in the second run, she just was flawless. Very clean throughout.
One more run to go before we get to that. Let's check in with Tina Dixon.
Yeah, guys, and an update on Svea Irving, who will be coming up next. She was a late addition to this event. In fact, she was on her way to practice at the Rev Tour, which is taking place over at Copper Mountain this weekend, when she got the phone call. Of course, she's not going to miss this opportunity, so she made her way over to Breckenridge, got very limited practice, but we have seen her skis come off in both runs. She said she was going to have the equipment looked at, and we'll see if that makes the difference this time around.
All right, thank you very much, Tina. More from you with one more run to go as you take a look at this beautiful modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. You're watching the Dew Tour, built by Mountain Dew. Welcome back to the 11th year of the Dew Tour here in Breckenridge, Colorado. Todd Harris, Luke Van Valentina Dixon with you on a picture-perfect day. They call this a Chamber of Commerce Day because if you're going to sell your city, this is when you want to bring people to your town. Breckenridge has never looked better. Fresh coating of snow came just less than 48 hours ago, and now it is groomed and ready to go. And a big shout-out to the folks that put together this beautiful modified Superpipe, the technical crew, the TV folks, the internet folks, my man Sergio getting the monitors going. I mean, we are really top to bottom locked in with the 18.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. We got the best athletes in the world on course right now. We got Cassie Sharp, of course, coming off her Olympic win less than 12 months ago. And she's really ready to fire this thing up.
All right, so 8 women will take one more run in this modified Superpipe. The current standings look like this. The Canadians holding down the first and third positions with Devin Logan sitting in second place. Rachel Carker now, I'm not saying she's the dark horse, but with an 83.67, Luke, how surprised are you to see the young Canadian? Remember, just 21 years of age out of Ontario leading the way.
I mean, it's definitely a surprise, but she had a super solid run. I mean, it makes sense when I look at the numbers here, Todd.
Svea Irving, the last second alternate, remember, replacing Kelly Silderu, who injured her knee, dropping in. 2 runs, both times the equipment skis ejecting. So she went back up, the team reported, checked the gear, and hopefully for her she gets a full pull here. A lot of speed here early on.
16 years old, getting the call over from Copper Mountain at the Rev Tour, which is an amateur competition, to involve herself directly in Dew Tour action against the best in the world. Definitely an exciting moment just to be here competing. Nice big air up and out on the cat spot down into this bottom section. Her final hit, alley-oop, 40 gets it to her feet. Great execution right there for Miss Irving.
So as Luke talked about being called over and Tina made the report coming over from Copper Mountain, which is only about 15-20 minutes away, you're basically getting called up from AAA to the show.
Yeah, you're in the big show.
You're in the big show.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And a beautiful beginning right here, locking in that Japan grab underneath the ski on that 360. Well done. And here's the switch, 720. Certainly probably the most difficult trick in her run, thrown down with relative ease into the straight air right there. Now, she probably won't be seeing a lot of the really big scores that we're hoping to start beholding on the board, probably mostly because of the fact that she's not grabbing those skis too well on her bigger tricks, except that 360 up top, which was very clean.
But let's stay positive here. 24 hours ago, she wasn't even in this competition.
You're absolutely right.
And she gets the call to the show from AAA ball, and here she is at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, it's great to see her out here just throwing down and enjoying this beautiful sunlit day. Breckenridge, Colorado Dew Tour. No place better to be with many of her heroes, no question.
A 57.33 will be her best score. So 16-year-old Svea Irving out of Winter Park gets into the big show and puts on a great final run.
Pop coming off of that spine feature with the guys out here.
So the woman of the hour is Rachel Carker. She put down the best score so far on run number 2, 83.67. Remember, you get 3 runs. Only your best run will count. And right now, Luke, she's got to be feeling very confident with the top score at 83 and 1 run to go.
Big 3-mute once again, down into the pipe. And the one area she can improve here, she's got great tricks throughout this pipe run. She just needs to lock in those grabs. Nice big mute grab on the flare. Watch those hands. Right hand goes down to the safety grab on the second flare. Cork 900, beautifully done. The landing flawless down into the bottom section. Nice big far tail grab there. Good looking trick overall. Now down into the bottom. She had this 7. Yes, again, she puts it to her feet.
So early in her career, she was in the racing program. She jumped out of that quite literally into gymnastics and focusing on gymnastics and trampoline, and that has served her well. Rachel Carker, Luke, with 2 very strong pulls, one of them being the leading score with an 83.67.
And once again, just basically the exact same run.
Yeah, just maybe a little cleaner though.
Yeah, indeed. And here's that first flare. And she did not get the grab on that trick in run number 2, which is her 87.33, excuse me, 83.67. My bad right there. Beautiful big flare straight to her feet. Now watch this 900. Winds that thing around, gets inverted right toward the middle of the rotation. Beautifully done. And up and out, reaching back for the far tail grab. Her left hand goes to the tail of her right ski. Boom, locks it in. If you're going to do a grab, that's a very complex one. That's a tough grab to find back there. Here's the left side 720, gets the tails back in, and she did the same run, just as good, but locked in the grabs. I don't think there's any reason why we're not going to see an improvement here, Todd.
She leads the way right now with an 83.67. Rachel Carker, top score getter so far, 21-year-old out of Ontario, Canada, and it is an improvement at 87.33.
Wow.
So, wow, Rachel Carker, well done. Now her day is done, and she can sit in the hot seat and see what the rest of the field can do.
6 left to go here in the third.
6 competitors now will try and swing for the fences, or in this case, swing for 87.33. That is the mark to beat. And it'll be Abigail Hansen out of Mammoth Lakes, California, that'll get the first opportunity to try and take Rachel Carker off that top spot.
Well, Abigail Hansen came in initially posting the highest score after run number 1, but now has been pushed off the podium. Cassie Sharp in third, Devin in second, and Rachel Carker distancing herself well beyond 16 points beyond that second place spot.
So we'll see how these athletes handle this sensory overload that is the modified Superpipe here in Breckenridge.
Hansen with a nice looking 3, safety grab, very clean down in the pipe. 3 to 4 hits seems to be the standard. Nice looking 720 right there, lining up this switch down the pipe 540. 2 switch hits, of course, more difficult in the eyes of the judges. Skiing up that wall backwards, as you can imagine, it being 22 feet, super tough. There's the left side 360. She pops a little trick right there, exiting the pipe. And down the pipe from pipe wall to hip landing, right side 3, landing gears down, full pull. Solid stuff, Abigail Hansen. I think that's probably better than her highest score right now, which is a 65.33. But I just don't see that popping into the 80s. It could overtake Cassie Sharp, whose score right now at 69 is not massive. But I think at the very least, Abigail will improve there. Nice 720 right there, locking in the safety grab throughout the entirety of that rotation, down into the bottom, midsection, of that half pipe. And right here, just opting for a small 360,
which
adding
puts
a little
smile on your
something.
face. You want to see an offering on the cat's paw.
I want to see something in the cat's paw. That's the straight airs are becoming too routine for me. I want to see that. And it's beautiful, but a hand drag right there. So minor deductions there, but I like that she's going for it. Splendid.
Third and final offering there for Abigail Hansen. It will be an improvement with a 67.33, but it'll keep her just off the podium in 4th place.
As of right now.
The sun is out, the pipe is a thing of beauty, and we've modified it just a little bit. New entry, new exit, as well as that super pipe sitting in the middle. Still the 22-foot walls you've come accustomed to when you come to Breckenridge and the Dew Tour, now in its 11th year. Annalisa Drew will be the next athlete to drop in. There you see the current standings. Rachel Carker of Canada has the top score with an 87.33. Kelly Sildaroo, who did qualify for the final, injured her knee. We wish her the best for a speedy recovery. Unable to go here at the Dew Tour. And there it is from top to bottom, Luke. That is a lot of opportunity, a lot of verticality. I mean, we saw Tina at the top of the show, and it looked like Tina was pulling off that Saturday afternoon hike in the Grand Canyon. It is just a cavernous thing of beauty built with snow.
It really is, and there's so many opportunities for creativity within this Superpipe, this modified piece of material, and the word from the athletes is it is incredibly fun.
So the 2-time Olympian Annalisa Drew, placing 9th in 2014 in Sochi, finishing just off the podium in Pyeongchang in 4th place. Here she is on her last run, Annalisa Drew of the USA.
Beautiful rodeo 540 right there. Nicely done. The biggest trick in terms of difficulty that we've seen from any of the athletes on Mr. T, that feature up top. And no, goes down on the right side, 9 again. Man, Annalisa, one of my favorite athletes to watch because you never know what she's going to do. She's got so many tricks. She can spin 10s in the pipe. She can do 12 60s in the half pipe. She doesn't have the same ceiling that you might see in typical half pipe opportunities, and she crushes it. It's a shame to see her go down that right side 9.
Her teammate Maddie Bowman says of Annalisa Drew, quote, "She is fearless." Fortunately for her, that back-to-back 10s will not help her cause. She'll have to sit on the 45. Luke, look at the amplitude. Where did this go wrong?
Well, she just didn't pop quite enough. You can see right when her right leg comes down, she contacts the coping. She's not back in the half pipe. So it's all the pop right there. A little too much absorption, not enough push out away from that wall in order to re-enter the half pipe. There's probably about 6 to 7 vertical feet, so you would think she'd come right back in, but the athletes have to give that a slight nudge off of the wall in order to re-enter.
You saw her skis just carve a big divot out of the wall right into the cameraman's front room. As we move back to the top of the pipe, Britta Sigourney now set to drop in. Britta Sigourney definitely one that has the abilities to drop an 87.34. That's the score she would need to take the lead. So the young lady out of Carmel, California, 2018 Olympic bronze medalist, dropping it.
One more time. Britta Sigourney.
Britta tucking around the backflip right there. A little bit less speed than she had formerly. And she's going to switch things up a little bit. Alley-oop right there. Here comes the 900. Clean landing this time around. Solid stuff. So far, so good for Britta. Straight airing. And when compared with Rachel Carker, Rachel had a 900 and then 2 flares, and then a 720 down below. Britta gets it around, but barely.
All right, so now it's time for judges to put pencil to paper as they have to analyze and break down exactly how they felt this whole run went down.
I mean, it was definitely a good run. She's going to improve here. I like that she switched it up and went with the alley-oop Japan and then locked in the 900. No grab on that 9, but still was very charismatic throughout the entirety of the rotation. Nice straight air, and probably really could have benefited from, instead of doing a straight air on that hit, maybe another trick. Even if it was an alley-oop trick, even if it was left side. She does her big right side 720 down at the bottom. And let's watch her hands. She gets the grab, but does she touch the snow there?
Yeah.
Yes. Hand drag with that right hand, so deductions on the landing there and in the overall execution of that doozy.
And if Eagle Eye Luke Van Valen's seen it, the judges are definitely seeing it as well.
Yes.
Unfortunately for her, that hand drag will probably cost her a few points. Remember, the mark to beat, 87.33, and Britta Sigourney's score coming in now. It'll be an improvement, but not enough to get her onto the podium. A 68.33 for Britta. Rachel Carker leads the way, 87.33. Luke, while we have a moment with 5 athletes still to drop in, let's take a look at this leading run so far and break it down one more time and tell the folks at home why this run garnered the points it did.
Well, because she's adapting to the course. I mean, this isn't your traditional super pipe. I mean, this is a modified pipe, and there's a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different style jumps, but she gives the judges the bread and butter of what they want to see in the super pipe. Back-to-back flares right there, and then she dumps out a really solid 900. The 360 mute grab up top was gigantic. Then she carries up and over with a difficult grab right there. The far tail grab it down into the bottom, swings over the left side, 720, perfect landing. Her execution was there. The use of this very new, very progressive course was all in. She just did a wonderful job at taking advantage of the opportunities to bolster her score. She had the highest. She improved upon it. She's in the driver's seat. She just got to wait to see Cassie Sharp, Devin Logan, and of course, Maddie Bowman.
There you are. What happened there?
And they are down to the final 3. I stand corrected. Just 3 more athletes taking a swing at Rachel Carker's score of 87.33. It'll be Devin Logan, the first up to have a crack at it. Now, Devin Logan certainly has the skills for an 87.33. The question is, Luke, with this modified Superpipe, can she put it all together? 2014 Olympic silver medalist in slopestyle is on course.
Well, if she wants to pick up an additional 16 points and change, she really needs to do something big here. She's got to really throw down. There's a nice big straight air right there. Now we got to talk about Carker's run. Carker had a great big flare, huge amplitude. Devin Logan with a nice 5 right there. Here's the right side 540. So one thing she's got there that Rachel Carker did not was a big right side trick. Then out of the pipe, she swings the 5. But in her desires to stomp that, nothing but despair.
Dare I say she was bitten by the cat paw, because she came out and the ski ejected. It was a stylish little exit from the Superpipe. but unable to ride it out.
Well, Todd, I don't want to be that guy, but you can't be bitten by a paw. You can be mauled by a paw.
Or scratched.
You can be scratched.
But the paw is connected to the rest of the cat, which would bite you.
Right, yes.
See where I'm going with that?
The paw itself
I
does
stretched
not
it a
have
bit.
any
I
teeth.
recognize that I stretched it a
Is
bit.
the thing.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for keeping me honest.
Yeah, you betcha. Nice looking right side flare right there from D-Lo. Puts it down to back-to-back 540s. Were absolutely sensational. Reaches down for the Japan grab. Locks it in. She's so good at incorporating grabs into all her tricks. The right side fiber was solid as well. And then coming up out of this tombstone, mauled by the cat's paw.
I couldn't have said it better than Luke Van Valen, feline aficionado. Here it is one more time, straight on.
Oh, have a gander. Just a little bit sideways right there, and just yanking the inside of that edge of the left ski and sending that beautiful piece of wood cord goodness off into the distance.
So Devin Logan will hold on to the 71, which she laid down on her second run. The good news for Devin Logan, she's currently in second place with just 2 athletes to go. Will she stay on the podium? Maddie Bowman will have something to say about that. Maddie Bowman has had her issues today. We've seen her do double hand plants. We've seen her lose some equipment. We've seen her strike a pose, Zoolander style in the bottom corral. Now, can she throw all that away and lay down something better than 87.3?
It's the question of the hour right now. She really needs to put it all together. She needs to bring some of those big tricks we've seen in the past to this competition. High safety on that left side 360. Nice big mute grab right there with the left hand. Coming into the left side 540. Looking for that tail grab, slows down substantially into the right side 5. Now coming into exit out of the cat's paw. Big 180. And just switching up the run a lot right here. Different strategies coming into play. And just a switch 180 right there for Maddie Bowman. And that is not going to do it. In my opinion. That, of course, unofficial at this point.
Luke Nostradamus Van Valen says it will not happen. Remember, she needs better than an 87.33 to take the lead. Now, let's keep in mind, a podium would not be terrible. If she gets a 7, she's in podium position.
It's important to do.
Here's the straight air, reaches down, left hand, right ski. Solid mute grab right there as a setup trick into this left side 540. Reaching back for it, the tail gets it. Beautiful 5. Down into the right side 540. Here's another look at that mute grab coming into the left side 5. 1.5 spins. Tip to tip. Coming up forward, landing forward. And the right side high safety 540. Couple quick turns, looking for the 180 right there. Lands it. Solid 180 exit out of the half pipe, but she comes in at a little too much of an angle in order to maintain her speed and air up and out of that wall.
Still smiles on the face of Maddie Bowman, the Olympic gold medalist from the Sochi Games. Unfortunately, Breckenridge is not her day today. The 11th running of the Dew Tour here is not coming to Maddie Bowman. She'll have to hold on. That's 56, which is not getting on the podium. All right, Luke Van Valen. It all comes down to this. The final athlete to drop in, it'll be Cassie Sharp, the Olympic gold medalist, the reigning champion in the half pipe from Pyeongchang. She's got 1 run to make it all right. She needs an 87.34 to take the lead and the win.
Lays out a great big backflip. Rachel Parker probably takes the points there. Beautiful 900. I would say Cassie, if we're going head to head, takes the first 2 hits right there. Very well done. Great big flare, locks in the tail. So Cassie probably looking a little bit better on the action in the pipe compared directly with our current leader. Nice big high safety grab right there. Needs something big down here into the bottom. Down the pipe, 360. Not really the most difficult thing and not huge on the amplitude front. Had she done that trick, humongous, it would have been big, but man, she definitely crushed it in that 300 feet of traditional half pipe. No question about it. The backflip up top and then the 360 down below. It's going to be difficult for her to overcome the likes of Rachel Parker, who was really consistently solid throughout. Looking for the tail grab on that left side 900, missing that.
Come here, girlfriend.
But great amplitude. Back-to-back 9, so super difficult combinations being utilized in the half pipe right there. But man, you really got to just take that and put it head to head. I think that probably maybe could have beat Rachel Carker's first run, but this time around, I mean, Carker had a beautiful big 720 on that bottom feature.
So will it be Canada on Canada crime, and where will Cassie Sharp jump to if she does indeed move up? She does move up, 84.67, but not enough to overtake fellow countrywoman Rachel Carker. So the most polite people in the world, the Canadians, take the top 2 spots in the Dew Tour. It is Rachel Carker winning it, and Cassie Sharp in second, Devin Logan holding on for third. Tina Dixon is down with 2 very happy Canadians.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what a special moment down here to have the Olympic gold medalist. Also, congratulate Rachel. First of all, Cassie, I'm going to talk to you because that third run, that's what it took. So what did you tell yourself at the top?
Man, this young gun here, she's just giving us a run for our money. I just knew I had to match something that she was doing. That switch cork stab wasn't working out for me today, so I just figured go with what I know and bring it back to my basics and just try to put one down clean.
Yeah, fantastic third run. And Rachel, get over here. Congratulations. Your second Dew Tour, it was 12th last year. Your first win. How much does this mean?
Oh, it means so much. I really didn't have very many expectations coming into today. I just wanted to land a run, try and put something together. It's a new course. It was super hard to figure out, so I'm just super happy that I could put one down, and this is pretty unbelievable.
You know, you beat someone like Cassie Sharp, an Olympic gold medalist, Maddie Bowman. You actually had to sit and wait and watch to see if your score held up. What were those moments like?
They were, you know what? I just really wanted them to do well. I wanted them to land a run. I really wanted Cassie to land a run. I'm super happy we get to share a podium, and I just look up to them. So the fact that I can match up is just a really big deal to me.
Fantastic performance today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Todd.
Thank you very much, Tina. Rachel Carker, 21 years of age, comes to the Dew Tour and absolutely slays the Ski Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota with an 87.33. Cassie Sharp finishing in second with that 84.67, and American Devin Logan will finish on the podium with a 71. Near perfect conditions. It took them a little while to warm up. You see those first run scores, a little pedestrian, but run 3, they really started to fire on all cylinders. But it was Rachel Carker's third and final run that did the trick. 87.33. What a performance for that youngster. 84.67 again from Cassie Sharp, the reigning Olympic gold medalist, and Devin Logan finishing in third place by way of a 71. So Luke, we heard the ladies talk about it. It took them a while to get adjusted to the modified Superpipe with everything that was thrown at them.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And you can see those that adapted well. Devin Logan did so well. Super consistent throughout the day in that third place position. Cassie Sharp decided just to make it happen in that third and final run. Go with what she knows. Drop that switch cork 7. But Carker just lacing the huge 360 Mew crab right there, and then down into the half pipe. She brought those elements the judges want to see. Great amplitude, big grabs, massive tricks, back-to-back mirrored action. The left side 900, beautiful landing right there. She comes up and out of this cat's paw far tail grab right there. Tough trick to lock in. Comes up, and this was a beauty. She struggled with it on run number 1, but on the third and final, that laced left side 720 was gloriously executed.
Folks, get to know Erin, Ontario, and that's where Rachel Carker is from, 57 miles northwest of Toronto. And she comes to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to get the victory. Congratulations to Rachel Carker as she picks up the win in the Women's Ski Modified Superpipe presented by Toyota. Like the sun, we are just getting warmed up here on a beautiful Friday at Breckenridge, Colorado in the 11th year of the Dew Tour. Still much more competition to come. We'll have much more when we return to the Rocky Mountains. As we step aside, this is the Dew Tour presented by Mountain Dew.
Bye.